The Rush is sponsored by State Farm.
Welcome to another episode of The Rush. I'm Danny Fry. In this episode, we bring you IHSA second-round football highlights against Jerseyville, along with previews of the SHG quarterfinal matchup and a season review of volleyball. But right now, let's get the show underway, and we bring in varsity running backs coach, Coach Mosier, in here to help us out these Jerseyville highlights. They were 10-0. They were a #1 seed. What are you guys feeling headed in that ballgame?
We see them on tape, and we thought we could dominate it from the start. But, your opponent's either them or yourself, so we just went out there ready to play.
Yeah, the Titans were really jacked, and they were ready to go out there and play some football in Jerseyville. The Titans with the 4 seed, Jerseyville with the 1 seed. Let's take a look at the highlights. Glenwood and Jerseyville. Titans came out ready to pound the Panthers. They were ready to go, and it starts out right off the bat. Your running backs coach, Donovan Hammonds, from about 3 yards out. I mean, he's a cinch to get in 7-0 Glenwood, only 3 minutes off.
Right. You get Donovan going downhill, and he's pretty hard to stop.
And now we have a nice compliment with number 7, another senior, Nathan Hack, and that's a 46-yard run to the red zone.
Yeah, Hack's really coming on. He's a great compliment to Donovan. Just when you're looking for Donovan, Hack comes out of nowhere.
But you also have another running back, a junior, big hard runner, Tyler DeRozier. He squeaks in the end zone, 14-0.
Yeah, Tyler's our power back. We use him in those situations, and he does a good job.
Yeah, hard to rip the football. Then you have the Division I quarterback and go to Northern Illinois, Mitch Kimball. You guys were able to snuff him out. Matt Meyer getting in on that.
Right, they did a good job containing him, and he didn't get a shot downfield.
And now, here's a pitch. It's Donovan. He's just a smart runner, too. He's a hard runner, but describe how smart of a runner he is.
Well, he's pretty good because I look up at it from a downward view, and he really doesn't miss many gaps. He always is at the right spot.
And here's a pitch, and it does not go to 44, Alex Lolos, their big running back, and that's Connor Fiat. He's really stepped up in the past few weeks with fumble recovery.
Right, Connor's one of our guys that goes 2 ways, and he's playing like a senior should.
And now here once again, Kimball, 57. Forrest Sexton had his number all day. We're still in the first half.
Forrest Sexton gave him a little ginger bite there.
And here's Nathan Hack twirling away in a nice run, and that will set up himself for a 9-yard touchdown run. And he's come in and just picked up, it seemed like yards to get into the end zone.
Right, and that's what you need at this point. You can't just lean on one back.
That made it 28-0. Still in the second quarter, the Titans led at halftime 42-0. Had the running clock going the rest of the half. Donovan Hammonds, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns, Hack, 108 yards, and a touchdown. Let's hear some post-game sound.
Yeah, it was just very intense, across the board. I mean, we had a great week of practice last week, and I challenged him before the game. And I told him, you play in games the way you practice. And today we did. We'd practice like that all week. So, we're going to have a good practice next week.
Today, man, it was a really good atmosphere. We were really jacked today. It's just something different in the locker room today, man. And we just came out. And I wanted to have a good game, man. I felt like I had something to prove to myself, and the team. Chatham Nation, baby.
Okay, so Coach Mosier, we did put in the second string defense, and they put on some gimme points, 21, so the score, it was a blowout. They would keep it going, second string all in the second half. But that win over Jerseyville, now let's take a look at how it's shaped up in the brackets with Class 5A. And let's take a look starting in the southern region, and with Glenwood topping Jerseyville. SHG Jackson was a thriller, 37-36 SHG in overtime. That sets up the quarterfinal matchup, and then it will go on to the semifinals. The winner will. And now let's see who the winner would play in the semifinals here. Also in the southern bracket, upper part here, Urbana loses to Morris. Morris put up like 65 points. Washington, the 5 seed, taking on the 2 seed Morris in the quarterfinals. and they would play either the winner of this game, Glenwood or SHG, in the semifinals. So how much do coaches go and look ahead in the bracket? You guys look at that a little bit?
Not too much ahead. You look just for curiosity's sake, just to see what's going on out there. But, you know, for the most part, it's just 1 week at a time.
Now, we talked about SHG and Jacksonville having that crazy game. We cut out some key plays, though. They were ahead 20-12 at halftime, and Jacksonville started coming for a relentless attack. And now let's take a look at some plays here. Starting out, this is the game footage from SHG, and they run this bubble screen with this is a Gabe Green run, excuse me. And here, some nice blocks, and he's able to go to the outside. Look at all that room, pick up a first, Coach.
Right, and that's where he's more dangerous with his feet as opposed to throwing.
Let's talk about that bubble screen. There's Malik Turner in the bubble screen, and they've ran that for years. It's always worked. He scored a touchdown there.
Right. They like to stretch the defense and get it out there real quick when they got numbers.
But here's Jacksonville. SHG, they were double teaming there. The tight end Hans, who's Jackson known for their tight ends. They forgot about the track star Reggie Braden.
Yeah, and that's when you have multiple threats on offense. You know, you kind of got to pick your poison, and they can do that if they want to go deep.
Well, and they can think about that with Glenwood. You got Daniel Helm, Brian Hobby. If you can get Rocky Morse the ball too, he's fast. And then, of course, you have your position with the running backs.
Right.
Well, thanks, Coach, for coming on, and hopefully with some good highlights for Glenwood SHG for the right outcome.
I hope.
All right, so the Titans are ready for another collision course with SHG. The first time these two met, Glenwood was down 26 points, but mounted a comeback that fell just short of the Cyclones prevailing 40-35. Glenwood seniors now realize the true importance in this Saturday's win or go home contest. Both of these coaches also see the improvement of their opponents in the matter of 3 weeks.
Well, it's going to be the same thing, you know. I mean, it's going to be the same team we played 3 weeks ago. And, I mean, you know, it's SHG. They're a good football team. We feel like we're better than we were 3 weeks ago.
Glenwood needs to cut down on costly turnovers this time around.
Not only did we turn it over the last time we played them, but we turned it over and they picked it up and took it for 6. So, you know, certainly we've got to avoid that situation. In fact, the fact that we only got beat by 5 last time with those 5 turnovers is pretty impressive.
SHG head coach Ken Leonard believes the close overtime win over Jacksonville will help his team play tough in all 4 quarters on Saturday.
Well, you know, Jacksonville's a great team, and they've gotten better, and they've got great size. You know, I think, you know, although I think Chatham has a much better running attack than Jacksonville did. So it was a tough game with 4 quarters, actually with overtime more. So I think that prepared us as far as having to go 4 quarters.
Senior defensive back Matt Meyer has certain people he's playing for on Saturday.
We're not doing it just for us. We're doing it for like everyone who's ever lost against them their senior year and everything. And to me, it's like a championship in itself.
Senior quarterback Greg Roberts knows the responsibilities for himself and the team.
Like shut down the pass. Make sure they don't pass it over us. We had a couple of passes like throughout the year over us. We don't want anymore. This is a big game leading into to the next big week. You know, we want to stay alive and survive.
Coach Leonard is emphasizing what type of game it is on Saturday.
Everybody can talk about the rivalry, and there is a rivalry, but this is not a rivalry game. This is a playoff game. During the regular season, that's the big hype and the rivalry. This is about moving on. Whoever wins gets to move on, and that's the bottom line. In the playoffs, it's about moving on. It's about they want to practice next week, we want to practice next week.
That's a preview of what's on the line for the Class 5A quarterfinal matchup, which will kick off at 1 at SHG West Campus. Gates will open at 11:30 with day of tickets being sold. You can still buy them at Office 2 here at Glenwood. Now it's time for our first commercial break of the day, but we have one more package about SHG and their new turf field, along with a volleyball season review and cross-country state results. Stick around. Fat Willie's in Chatham is a great family restaurant that supplies a wonderful dining experience. We offer outstanding fried chicken and over-the-top walleye pizza. With quality products at affordable prices, Fat Willie's is the way to go. Open Monday through Saturday, 12 a.m. to midnight. Call us today at 217-483-6969.
Aaron, you're all set?
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies to make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot. Get out of here.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Call Steve Bedford in Chatham for personal service and discounts that you deserve.
Here we go. This football season, Sacred Heart Griffin unveiled its multi-million-dollar stadium with a state-of-the-art sound system and a jumbotron. All that stuff is nice, but what about the brand new surface on the field itself? The Rush's own Gavin Caruso has more about how football competition is on a turf field.
This year, SHG has a new stadium with a different turf, also known as the athletic turf, which some believe could give an unfair advantage to the home team. This week, Glenwood takes on the Cyclones. I got to talk to Glenwood's head coach, Dan Rohr, to see how their team is prepared.
You know, I mean, it's we've been on before. We go to camp at Illinois Wesleyan every year, and the kids are familiar with it. I don't really think it plays that big of a role in it. It would probably play a big role if it were a real messy day, and in that case, again, it's a good surface, and you know, it won't. I don't think it's going to create any issues.
SHG head coach Ken Leonard explains how it gives a small advantage towards faster teams, in which Glenwood and Griffin both are.
Oh, yeah, we'd like playing on the turf field. I don't know if you know, they've got speed too. Chatham's got great speed.
For weather conditions, they believe that the turf would be less of a mess and easier to play on in certain circumstances.
You know, there's not going to be any, there's not mud, or there's not going to be slippage. You know, it's turf, and so the conditions are always going to be the same.
The athletic turf shows no problems, but is still different from most fields in the area, though SHG made the field without consulting with the IHSA until months later. The Illinois High School Association makes a statement about this matter. Sacred Heart Griffin's new artificial turf field falls under all of the approved guidelines. We feel that the field gives no advantages or disadvantages regarding any of the teams that they may face. The field has been reviewed and approved April of this year. From the Rush, I'm Gavin Caruso, and go Titans.
One of the only downsides to the Cyclones' new stadium is there isn't much parking on West Campus, so make sure to arrive early and maybe even tailgate. Now on to volleyball. This volleyball season was a learning experience for the Titan sophomores and juniors when only senior Taylor Kopp fell to injury. The Titan underclassmen stepped up to win a regional game. The Rush's own Josh Camacho has more on what the ladies learned this season.
This year, key player Taylor Kopp was unable to participate in this season due to a knee injury. Though unable to play, she was still considered a valuable asset to the team.
Well, I think just Taylor Kopp is a senior, and she was definitely a big leader. She was hurt most of the season, but she was always had a positive attitude on the bench, and she was always encouraging people and really pushed us and gave us something really to play for, because she couldn't be out there on the court with us, but she still stepped up as a leader and definitely helped us out a lot.
The player that helped us out on the team the most would be Taylor Kopp. She was our only senior this year, and she helped us out no matter what. She always had a positive attitude, and she was always there for us.
Though having a solid team with an impressive number of juniors and seniors, the Titans still had room to improve this season.
I definitely think we could have improved on just working together more as a team, and maybe like serve-receive passes and getting our hits in the court and our sets right where they need to be, just some of the fundamental things. And a lot of it was just, I guess, inexperience, because we're such a young team, that it would have helped if we were a little older, I guess. So hopefully next year we'll improve even more than this year.
I feel like we could have worked on finishing more. Like, I feel like we got so close to winning so many times, but we couldn't pull off the win, so we need to work on finishing. So.
For next season, the team will be focusing to improve on major faults that held them back this year.
We're going to focus on really competing hard and to win conference. That's our main goal. And just to work together as a team and just become one.
For The Rush, I'm Josh Camacho.
Last weekend was not just a football weekend, but also a running weekend. The boys and girls cross-country teams competed in the Class 2A state meet at Peoria's Detweiler Park. Now let's take a look at these cross-country results. First, for the guys, they got 20th overall of 25 teams. Mark Maytoff, time of 15:38, getting 75th overall. Grant Kaiser, the junior, right behind him. And now let's take a look at how the girls team, they finished 8th, so top 10 at state. Amazing. Lindsey Rogers, 25th with a time of 17:54. Cassie Garner, just a freshman, with a time of 18:14. So the girls, they finished 8th overall as the boys team took 20th. Congrats to the coaches and the runners on a stellar season. Our NFL master predictor, Eric Burklow, has picked about 55% of his games correctly so far this season, and he's hoping that he can have a big increase this week. Because, Eric worked extra hard to figure out stats for this week's games, including a fantasy star to watch. Here they are.
This is my Week 10 picks. My fantasy player of the week will be Vincent Jackson against his former team, the San Diego Chargers. My first game is the Rams at 49ers. It is sad to pick the Rams this week because they're gonna get annihilated at San Francisco. The reason why they're gonna lose is because the Rams are ranked 29th out of 32 in points per game. That's pretty bad. That's horrible. I got Texans at Bears. The Texans will dominate the Bears O-line all night. I say Cutler will be sacked 7 times by the Houston 34 defense. Houston's defense is ranked 3rd in the league, only giving up 286 yards per game. Bills at Patriots. The Buffalo's defense is atrocious. This defense allows 170 rushing yards a game. You cannot give up 170 rushing yards a game to win an NFL game. In my upset pick, I got the Cincinnati Bengals beating the New York Giants. Andy Dalton will throw 2 touchdowns, and the Bengals defense will sack Eli Manning 3 or 4 times.
2 words for Eric: the Bears. All I'm going to say. Now, let's take our last commercial break of the day. Stay right there, and we'll be right back with the debate with Jarrett Sepich and Caleb Fabish. So stay right there. Fat Willie's in Chatham is a great family restaurant that supplies a wonderful dining experience. We offer outstanding fried chicken and over-the-top walleye and pizza. With quality products at affordable prices, Fat Willie's is the way to go. Open Monday through Saturday, 12 a.m. to midnight. Call us today at 217-483-6969.
Aaron, you're all set.
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies and make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot. Get out of here.
Get to a better state, State Farm.
Call Steve Bedford in Chatham for personal service and discounts that you deserve.
Kids, the breakfast is ready. Eat up. Your friend's gonna be here pretty soon.
I'll be there in a second.
Have a great day.
My friend's here, I'm leaving.
Be safe. Come home right after school.
All right, see ya.
Wow, your dads are really looking out for you. That's not my dad. That's my family's financial advisor, Mr. Sullivan.
Sullivan Financial, looking out for your investments and your family.
Well, Mr. Raji, we could save you hundreds by doing a discount double check.
Not you too, Raji. You're on my team. You know that's my move.
The discount double check?
No, that's my touchdown dance, man.
Here we go again. Sir, you're not even doing it right. Raji, drop it.
Show me what you got, Raji.
What is this?
Come on now. You said you were a dancer.
Where you going, buddy? Come on back.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Call Steve Bedford in Chatham for personal service and discounts that you deserve.
Welcome back to The Rush, and it's debate time, the debate part of the episode, and we'll bring in two Glenwood football players, at least at one point. We have a varsity player right now, Jarrett Sepich, a pair of juniors here, and Caleb Fabish played till his freshman year, so they know a lot about football and know a lot about Glenwood football heading into this quarterfinal matchup against SHG. So now let's start out with going to the NFL. Mid-season NFL report, your favorite team, I believe, Jarrett, you like the Patriots? All right, you're with Eric Burklow, our predictor, yeah. And then also Caleb Fabish. We're two Bears fans, two die-hard Bears fans, the Bears. And we'll start with you, Jarrett. Patriots, just a little bit disappointing maybe, yeah. But do you think where they'd be at? Do you think they're at a right place right now?
I think they could be undefeated, which might overstate it a little bit. But they have 3 losses, and the worst they've lost by is only 2 points. So, and then with the dynamic duo, I'd like to call it as Lee Bodding and Stephen Ridley coming on, and the defense.
I have not heard of any of those guys coming into the season, like heading into the fantasy draft. Like, who are these guys? But they've done a great job with Belichick's offense.
Yes, Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, is helping out a lot. So I think they could be doing better, and they will get better.
All right, so Caleb, go to the Bears. I think it's surprising. You're way more optimistic than me. I think it's surprising the Bears are at 7-1, only lost to the Packers. But did you honestly think this is where they'd be right now?
It is surprising. Honestly, the game against Carolina, that we shouldn't have won that. But Robbie Gould in the fourth quarter comeback, that was...
Robbie Gould, Bears MVP. He made up for himself. He missed one earlier in the game and came back. I've been saying that forever. He's the Bears MVP, Robbie Gould.
But then we're 7-1. They have the 2 really tough games next week. Next week against the Texans, Sunday Night Football, and then the San Francisco 49ers. Those are really 2 tough games. But I think our defense, if they step up and our offense steps up just a little bit more, they could win it.
Yeah, because the Bears' offense, they pretty much have no offense, though.
Right.
I mean, the Bears, they put up 51 points against the Titans, but how many turnovers did they have? 4 forced fumble alone from Charles Peanut Tillman, who's really been out there for Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year in the NFC. So you have him there. And then the offense, though, Jay Cutler, he keeps pouting, and he isn't really coming up. And they just need to have Brandon Marshall needs to step up like he did in the Titans game. But we'll see with the Bears and how they'll gel. 2 big games to see if the offense can perform.
Definitely.
Moving on, college football right now. Towards the end of the season, starting to see, who will make it, which 4 teams will make it to that playoff. Which college football team right now has the most to play for? LSU with a big loss in that game against Alabama.
In my mind, I would have to say either an Oregon team or a very good Notre Dame team.
Oregon, because they have to prove themselves, because Chip Kelly says, the computers just keep knocking, the BCS system keeps knocking down. They're a great team.
And for the past 6 years straight, consecutive, the SEC has won the national championship, and I think there's lots of pressures on any other conference to knock them off their pedestal. And
yeah, we'll go down. Champion. I completely agree, and we'll go down to Caleb here.
I'm with you on Oregon. They do have something to prove, so I think that they have the most to play for right now.
Yeah, and Notre Dame is what wins so many close games, being lucky. And I think they got bumped back to number 4, and Oregon's number 3 right now in the standings. That's interesting. Okay, now I have a story that I stumbled upon on ESPN.com. I'm coming up with these debate questions. Just the other day, the Bulls' Joakim Noah by the way, has attempted 5 threes in his career, hasn't made any of them. Attempted a last-second 3 with his team up 99-93 to win the crowd Big Macs. You win free Big Macs if they score 100 points, and he felt bad because earlier he missed a free throw and wanted to give the crowd some Big Macs. So he had but the question is here, and he missed it, and Tom Thibodeau, their coach, thought maybe, unsportsmanlike there. Heard a bump from beyond there. And also, but here's the question. In a situation where you have your team comfortably ahead, would you try and win a promotion for the fans?
Oh, most definitely. The whole game revolves around the fans, and I think the fans deserve the best that they can get. And making a three-pointer to give them all Big Macs, that just sounds like a splendid idea to me.
Caleb, will go down to you. You agree?
I definitely agree, because honestly, first, who doesn't like a Big Mac? And secondly,
I think we had just Josh Camacho just wave out that he didn't like one. Come on.
Oh,
man.
no?
Okay, so Caleb, yeah.
Actually, that's all I really had to say. But
yeah, no, I
it's
mean,
it's just like hitting a home run at Busch Stadium. And you hit the sign.
Usually you see the promotion at halftime, too, and a fan has to come up and make some ridiculous half-court shot. Okay, so that's all the sports questions around now. Let's turn our attention to the quarterfinal game. Be on the sideline. Jarrett, Caleb, you'll be in attendance, too, trying to watch the game. Okay, and now you have first of all, you got the Glenwood SHG rivalry, but let's go to what are the Titans going to need to do differently to prevail against SHG and break the 16-game losing streak?
There are millions of things that go into a football game, and off the top of my mind, I can think of 2 right now that come into hand, and I would have to say play hard. That's always there, and then making less mistakes than the other team.
Play hard right off the bat. They can't have those 2 turnovers like Coach Rourke was talking about, where they go and return them the scores. Because there's a difference right there. 5 points, those 2 touchdowns right back to the house. Caleb, have anything to add there?
A good run defense is going to win this game for Glenwood.
Chris Harris, he was a little questionable, but the word is that he will play. Chris Harris will come out there and play. And come on, it's his senior year, the rivalry game. He's going to play at least a little bit, yeah. And well, that's it for the preview. Thanks for the debate. Thanks for coming on, guys, for the debate.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for this episode of The Rush. And make sure once again to show up plenty early for the quarterfinal playoff at SHG West Campus, which will kick off at 1. Gates open again at 11:30. Also on Saturday, the girls swimming and diving sectionals at Eisenhower Pool. But right now, we just got to turn our attention to the Glenwood SHG quarterfinal game. So that's it. We're out of here. Thanks for watching.